Masandawana, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us your comments and stand in line to win prizes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another exceptional episode of the Pitchside Podcast. Out it's a sharp today, so believe, man. I'm
lucky.
Here with the general. I want him to still.
Unlucky. Wait, I get twisted mirror wa balabala. Get twisted mirror wa balabala.
Okay, re batla re bontshe phela ona o fashion icon ya rona iso. O dula o dikapila o tlile.
Oupa
Okay.
Panagiti. O reng mfana?
Mnato jwa.
O ba le taba e di man. Phela mane na le kapa ka fashion show mo before it's a podcast ya tla di tladile ra. No twistile ba tlo re bontsha. Ha sa twister. Wetsa 𝐏𝐿𝐻𝐿𝐻 yena
Namle re mulele ntwa ya be le something. A ikaparise na boye.
Mon.
Anele michini ari.
Ngara ka mchini tloletso ba le problem. Nga se robala go roka every night.
My chance is the big one. Kela Modise describes it yadi popcorn. It's the big show. The one I think most of us look forward to. Mamelodi Sundowns versus Orlando Pirates.
Yeah, it's a big one. Toe to toe.
Yeah.
No park in the bus. Toe to toe. I will not draw. It's either win or you lose.
Yeah. I think my first question then, Oupa, to you would be, having been on both sides, and let's start while you're on the other side. Is the hype for this game that high? Because it is an intense game. It's one of those games where some people have said it's a league decider at some points.
Yeah, there's so much hype. There's so much hype because we all know that two big teams. So whichever way we wanted to win.
Yeah.
And we had to grind the results. But during our time, I think normally in right, man.
Yeah.
Because we will lose at home and win at Pretoria.
Yeah.
So I saw last season, it changed.
Yeah.
Sundowns won at home.
Yeah.
And I don't know, key home, FNB. They won't go FNB. They won't go FNB. Go
Spicy,
home. I'm just asking you.
Yeah. Modise, internationally we just saw we had El Clasico, which is not a derby, but it's one of the biggest games in the world. We're now in a situation where in the country, this is the game that everybody looks up to it and looks forward to it. If you were to name it, what would you call it?
For now, it's a blockbuster fixture. So I would really maybe try and engage the fans to a student Barafema beat. Yeah, then we can see which one actually stands out, so that we can actually name this fixture, because it's such an important fixture, especially the last 7-8 years.
Yeah.
It's slowly growing to become one of the best fixtures ever, because then it becomes a sold-out affair every time. And I think because of how both teams, the whole Anka thing, and having those superstars within the teams as well. As much as Oupa can speak about when we were playing also from the other side, but it wasn't, at times it was like chalk and cheese. Because like maybe Orlando Sundowns, you'll have like, most of them are superstars, and Orlando Pirates maybe like 6 or 7, then you have to grind the result. But now things are even. And also these are players as well that are fighting for a starting berth in the national team. So it becomes very, very important fixture. And because one team has been dominating, which is Sundowns on the league, and Orlando Pirates has been dominating in terms of the cup. So it becomes very, very interesting. So I think 𝐏𝐢𝐭𝐜𝐿𝐻 name, and maybe we should actually engage the fans.
Masandawana, please go into the comments, leave us your suggestions on what you'd call it, and stand a chance to win yourself a replica jersey. And we'll be giving away the third kit that has just been recently launched by Puma. So please leave us your comments below, and we'll be choosing a winner from there. Back to the game. I think it's also, you said something very important. It's majority of the players that play in this game make up the team at Bafana level. How easy is it then as a player to say, hey, possibly even sharing a hotel room, and now we're going into this big battle? What is the change that needs to happen then mentally?
First of all, I would like to commend the players, because of now they're really competing on the pitch. But also in the past, we used to compete about anything else but football. So now, even if you share the same dressing room in the national team, you still speak about the game because you know when the fixture is. And then And then you forever speak about the weaknesses of other team. Or so those are things that needs to happen in the national team. And whenever you face each other on the game, you want to prove that you want to back up your words, and you also want to prove as to then you are the best in your position, right? So it becomes also a bragging right in a say, but also looking forward to change the national team lineup and be able to put yourself in, because you're going to compete, like Oupa said earlier on, able to able, one-on-one, so you can actually say to Sundowns or Kishap, against Orlando Pirates, you can compete from position to position because you can name the best right back this side, you can name the best right back on this side. So it's one of those things. But once the game starts, I think that's where the competition starts. And I always look at the body language of the players whenever there's such games, as to then who's overly confident, who is really thinking too much about the game, who's very concerned, because the body language doesn't lie. And there's a type of games that you need to be at the game. You need to, when the game starts, within first 5 minutes, you need to be into the game, especially the midfield. Let's say midfield. Also, sharply pass it right in the first 5 minutes. It plays in your mind for such a long time, and that's the game that you need to start very well. Yeah,
Oupa, the pressure. You cross the floor, and then you go and have to face these guys. What is the pressure like on that field to actually, as Modise said, make that first pass?
I think for me, as a footballer, there's always pressure.
Yeah.
Whether you cross the side or you didn't cross the side, because this is something that we love. We grew up wanting to be those so-called superstars.
Yeah.
So for you to get to the game, you must start playing the game from the hotel.
Yeah.
You can't just go to the field and say, I'm starting. No. You have to play it first in your mind till the last minute of the game. Because any mistake, it can be costly for the team.
Yeah. Speaking on that, the last game Orlando Pirates played was in the Carling Cup, and there were players that have been seen to be rested. This sometimes works because I guess then players have more energy, but in terms of the team gelling in the starting 11, it could then be thrown off by if you change maybe 4 or 5 players to put in the guys that you rested.
But the thing is, like, already when you have a team already that is used to winning, adjustments becomes a little bit easier. It becomes very difficult when you having mixed bags of results, and then you unsure as to then who's ready, who's not. But also from a coaching point of view, you're resting players, hoping that come game day, they're ready to play, because you can rest a player. So you really never know, which is true.
Yeah.
But then again, you when you rest players, also it emphasizes the importance of the game. Not that maybe the team that you're playing against at that time, which way they were playing against Magazine, not that they were belittling Magazine,
100%.
but it's just that who to come weekend, it's one of those games that you really want to have your best 11 on the pitch. Yeah. We've seen a lot of guys being rested, and also they come from a Champions League game that took a lot out of them. So they're in this phase where Mamelodi Sundowns is normally at. So those changes, they become important, and also for longevity of the team as well, to still be able to compete. You need to have players, a certain number of players, maybe 18 to 19 players, having equal minutes into their game, so that whenever injuries are coming through, there's no difference in terms of the philosophy.
But that's one of those things that we speak about, Donna, all the time, which is balance. How difficult then is it to balance your squad in that way, right? Because it's not easy. I think every player, there's no player that wakes up to come to training to say, no, I'm going to be a squad player. Everyone wants to be a starting player. So when you do get your opportunity in such a big game, it's time for you to step up.
Yeah, you have to grab it with both hands.
Yeah.
You must always remember that that's the reason why you wake up every day in the morning. You can't just be reckless and think that, no, I'm just a squad player.
Sure.
Because you'll never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe it's your lucky day, you'll grab it and you'll find yourself playing Qatar.
Yeah.
So you must grab every opportunity.
And also just to add on Oupa, if you look at the opposition, which is Orlando Pirates, you have Mbogazi that came into the lineup based on injuries that happen.
Yeah.
Right? You have 𝐏𝐤𝐿 that came in the lineup based on the injury that happened. So you have players that are now formidable players now within the squad based on the injuries that happened. If Nda was fit, if 𝐏𝐤𝐭𝐜 was fit, Sibisi was always fit. That's a different story. Maybe you might not have seen Mbogazi. You know what I mean? So it comes back to what Oupa saying. You need to be able to be ready to say, okay, being given an opportunity, you need to step up because of it's okay to have nerves because it is a big game.
Yeah.
So when you don't have nerves, for me, I used to worry when I go to a game without nerves because I'm like, I mustn't take this game for granted. I need to have those nerves and things. And I still strongly believe from Mamelodi Sundowns side is to the players that have been playing. This is a big game. Unfortunately, there's maybe 𝐏𝐳A injuries. I would have loved to see him play in such a big game. But yet again, you have equally balanced teams from both sides. Players that are really, really competing at the highest level.
And it's also one of those games where the game is, leading up to the game. If you stop go Robotong, the guy there at the robot is talking to you about the game at the garage, which adds to the pressure to show up.
That's where you must get your motivation.
Yeah.
You see, if you are a footballer and you stop by the robot and no one is telling you to go back home, my friend, change your lifestyle. Change your lifestyle, my friend. That's one thing that I was always looking forward to.
Yeah.
Going to the garage, people must tell me, go rest.
Yeah.
It shows that you are doing something, but if you are not doing anything,
They'll just
it's
leave
a
it
problem.
be. Phew, it's crazy. And does that not then add to the pressure? Because I think it's a sold-out affair. And the moment it's a sold-out affair, I said to Modise the other week, when you're at Orlando, the fans just feel like they're sitting here while you're on the field, whereas Loftus is a bit bigger and open. Do you also find those differences and the pressure for the game?
Yeah, it's always. As Modise said, your first touch, your first pass, you're gonna ease your nerves. But if you're not doing anything right by the first minute, it's gonna be a long day for you at the office.
And if you do a bad pass, it's war, this thing there.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting as well is like we only few. I know that we speak about pressure a lot in football, and we speak about you have to be ready for pressure. You train every day to get into those situations, and the nicest part about this fixture is you have two teams that knows what pressure is.
Yeah.
Because as a footballer, we've seen players really choke under pressure, right? And you want your best players to be able to perform every single game, which sometimes becomes impossible. But in such a big game, you are expected as a top player. If we really say you're a top player, you're expected. So there's no pressure. We're expecting you to be able to perform. And in both sides, they've got players that every fan is expecting them to be able to compete. In the midfield, we know on that side we have Nduli that is knocking on the national team door.
Yeah.
On this side, we have 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝑍𝑎, you have Allende, you have all these other Santos, you have all these other players. Likamole, they can say we have 𝐴𝐶IPO that is doing well in the national team as well, being back in there, and he might, if he continues with the form that he's in, he's going to start come AFCON. 100%. So you have all these players that are competing for position berth and also for bragging rights and also to win the league. So it is a fixture that star players are expected to perform, and we're expecting nothing less from them.
Let's talk about style of play. We're coming now into a transition where Orlando Pirates has moved from Coach Ribeiro, and we've seen that now the focus is a lot more on the speedy wingers in Moremi, Apollos on the other side. And then you still come back to our side where we're still knocking the ball and so forth. How much of an impact do you think the style of play then will influence the game?
Hey Joe, the two contrasting styles they're very dangerous. You have a Sundowns side that if it's fully dominant on the ball, when they play more on your half, you actually opening up gaps for Sibilibilis and them to be able to utilize at the back. But also you're not a Sundowns side that's going to sit back and allow Pirates to come through to you, and Pirates also is not going to sit back and allow maybe Sundowns to come to them. So then what it does, and it opens the game up. So then it becomes that who controls the ball more, because you know that even if it's Sundowns, you're just sitting maybe from a defensive position. You know that Mbogazi is going to bring that diagonal ball. 𝐏𝐤𝐿 is going to bring that diagonal ball. 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝑍𝑎 is forever running. I'm sure even when he's resting, he's running. Because he's forever doing that. He's a very consistent player when it comes to Orlando Pirates side. So because it's a team, and I've always said, like Orlando Pirates, even when I was growing up watching Orlando Pirates, it's always been about wingers that are fast. Your Joseph Ngake, your 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿, we can go on and on and on. That's the team that Orlando Pirates has been about. And for Mamelodi Sundowns, your Roger Fudumba, your 𝐏𝐻𝐻, it's always about Shushan and Pierre. So the contrasting style has always been there. But it's about who then applies themselves a little bit better, because of come Saturday, regardless of how you play, it's the opportunities that you get, and then what do you do with those opportunities?
How important is it then for the coaches and the players to be dynamic in terms of being able then to change the way of play? Because I remember when Coach Peter was here, he'd always say it won't always be pretty. Sometimes we go to the mud.
Yeah. Maybe I'll allow Oupa to start this one off.
It will be critical because of both teams like having the ball, and mostly importantly, I think the game will be won in the middle field because both teams have ball players. And for speedy wingers, I think both teams have speedy fullbacks or speedy wingers, if I can say. But the only thing that will matter on Saturday is whoever takes his chances and make sure that he keeps the ball longer. Because remember, when you have the ball, the opposing team is the one that gets tired. Because shifting and doing that, it's draining your mind. Because as footballers, we love having the ball.
Yeah.
If you don't have the ball, you become anxious. You will want to go and mark it at the right spot there.
Yeah. Sure. So the press and everything else then needs to fall in place, otherwise
look, we even in big games in the world, in big fixtures, your 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿, you always have to have your moments to press, and sometimes you need to choose players to press. And these are type of games where it's a mental game, like Ram and Oupa got first touch and needs to be on top of him, right? And at that, because we know that when Oupa has space and time, he's going to kill us. So now that counter press becomes important, but also after winning the ball, from a Mamelodi Sundowns point of view, after winning the ball high up, you can't rebuild, right? You need to go on and finish the attack, and which is something that they've been doing very well lately. They've adapted to that, and maybe in contrast to before, where you win the ball, they wait for the team to settle and still, so that also becomes a thing. And for now, from a Mamelodi Sundowns point of view, is to see the new signings as to them, how then they're going to perform in such a pressure game, and for them to be introduced to properly South African football, because this is a fixture that we really, really speak about. I know there's a biggest fixture in the country from a history point of view, but from a football point of view, Pirates versus Sundowns, it is one of the biggest fixtures. And if you don't perform well, we're not going to speak about you. Footballers, like Oupa said, we want to be spoken of. We want to get into the certain list. We want, when it's all said and done, people need to remember how we made them feel. And these are type of games that actually makes you people remind you, but you can't come there in Tatazele, this is not the time. This is not the time.
But do you agree with Modise about the fixture? And I mean, we've spoken about it at length on the Pitchside Podcast, 𝐏𝐻𝐻. This is the most exciting football fixture.
Perfectly.
Get the popcorn.
I get the popcorn. And get the popcorn, say, I want to go social. You know what I was stadium. We want a life.
And now, when you sit at the game, for example, at the stadium, do you then want to apply yourself? Because, we always say, why is I taping you? Why is I sharp past 10? And Hlompo will just sit here and say, cross the line, we'll sharp past 10.
For me, I always tell people that it's not easy being inside the field. So most of the time, people will make such comments. I move away from them because I know how it feels and I know how people think inside there. We don't see it the way they see it outside.
Because you've got a bird's eye view from the stand. But on the field, there's a lot more options. I mean, the noise level is different when you're there. And also, maybe you just didn't see the pass that we can see from up there.
And there's a type of games that you can't expect me to tell you men coming. So it requires you to really, really step up your game to the next level. Also based on the position that you play. You know that you're playing against a very top player, so you need to try and win your own battles, right? And once you win your own battle, then you can maybe become that player that becomes more creative, or maybe adding numbers going forward, or maybe defending very, very well. So the game is well. And when, just to touch on what Oupa says, we have, because football, it is a game of opinion. We have a lot of opinions. We're like, yeah, we need those type of comments. But the problem is, like, those are mostly comments that have been done by somebody that's never really, really played the game. And if you have played the game, you've never played such a big game.
No.
So big games, my friend, it's for big players. That's it. There's no other way. If you want to be a big player, these are the type of games that you need to play.
And you need to shine in.
You need to shine. And imagine you have to shine against players that are playing in the national team. The cream, the ones that you actually saw coming third in the continent, you need to shine against them. So it becomes very, very mentally challenging. That's why it requires you to play a little bit better. Requires you to do certain things differently, because both teams are going to sit down and analyze. As to then, they're going to analyze the criteria, the characteristics of every individual player. Sundowns is going to do the same. So then, if Oupa knows the Nuggets for a baller from the left hand side, get cut in, and then maybe 2 times, and he start doing that, he start defending from that. Now it forces me now to do things differently, and so now it requires you now to elevate your game. And these are type of games that I really, really enjoy watching.
I think you said something so important there in terms of analysis. We'd always listen to the press conference Amatala afterwards, and it'd be like, no, let him have the ball. Let him have the ball. Nothing is going to happen there. But we come from a point where we've seen, as you said, TLB play that diagonal pass. We've seen Otto break out from the back, knowing that now it means if Otto's on the touchline, it means Apollos is inside. It means the Mahopa or Mabasa, whoever they're playing on the day as well, on this side.
I just hope Apollos doesn't start.
Who? Why?
I just hope he's just a cream, man. He's just a top player.
Yeah.
He's when he's on the ball, he sees
player.
things that many players in the league, they don't see.
Yeah.
That's my fear. He sees certain things. I'm like, yo, this boy.
But isn't that then the danger, right? If you have a player that sees things that other players don't see, is that the players might not be able to read that play.
But he can still carry this thing by himself. That's the thing. You see, when you're playing. No, but listen. No, my man. When there's players that see things differently because the IQ is so high. But then when things don't work out, they tend to carry the game by themselves. And we've seen Apollos doing that in the national team with all the superstars in the national team and carry this thing. And Orlando Pirates, it's been sometimes he comes in as an impact player, sometimes he starts. So that's why I get it. And he's never really, really good when he comes in as an impact player, especially in big games. So you tend to like, and I like the fear. I've got this fear about him. Like I know the things that he wants to do. Sometimes, yes, they get dispossessed, but I'm like, these are the type of players that you need to take those type of risks, and he does. And in fact, he shoots from. Nights I'm
Yeah, the best right back on the continent.
Of course. No, from a tactical point of view, he will forever tuck inside. And when he tucks inside, he's now a number 10. So now I transfer him to other midfielders. Then Mudau will be worried about Hoto coming in and down. And also Hoto will be worried about Mudau coming up. So it's a nicely equally balanced. But I'm saying from a creative point of view,
100%.
Playing inside the pockets where it's mixed, he can play.
Are you saying they're not going to miss Rile because he's been out injured?
I don't think they miss him because our policy is doing very well. And Muremi is coming up right now.
Yeah.
He's coming up right. For the fact that for this game, the problem is you can't be casual. Even if you know that Modise is going to cut the inside, don't say this time he won't. Just make sure that you close that game. Because the minute you be casual, that's where the problem will start.
Sure. All right, gents. Gents, what are your predictions for the game?
Yeah, ne?
Hey, this one is tough. 2-1 Mamelodi Sundowns. I'll say 2-1 to Mamelodi Sundowns.
Okay.
But also, I wouldn't mind a 2-2 draw. That is full of drama. No red cards, just full of drama. Like full of footballing conversation moments that we can actually take back and like, it's again, certain things just happen in the game because it's a big game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a 2-2 draw. I wouldn't even mind a 3-3 draw. As long as there's a lot of goals, there's talkability amongst the game because of it's very difficult to say who's going to win into this game based on where the teams are right now and how they're feeling. Because as a footballer, it's about a feeling more than anything else. When you feel good going to Loftus, walk in, do your match pitch walkabouts. You know, sometimes it relates to the game, translates to the game instead and how you want to play. And I really, really want to see a top game in that.
All right.
All I want to see is goals. But I think it will be 2-0 for Orlando Pirates. Police will be scoring. As Modise
Well, the Pirates.
doesn't want the police, but
Well, the Pirates, eh?
2-0. I'm looking at how they have been playing going forward. My only worry is at the back. I feel like they haven't been tested so much because of, I think, they need a little bit of experience there at the back. Sometimes they get too excited. Okay. I even saw the game last night. You are 2-0 up, you still want to rush the ball, you still want to run. Keep the ball, it's 4 minutes left. Just keep the ball.
Hey, boy, experience, move.
Oh,
Just keep the ball.
Yeah, but I also like maybe just to add on there before Naves, on the two centre back pairing that Orlando Pirates that has been doing so well, Siema and Mbogazi. I think the biggest reason why they haven't really been tested is Nduli. I think Nduli is one of those players that is so underrated within that team, but also is a player that is so important. And then in a couple of years back, we never used to really appreciate Badlalan 6. Now we're starting to do so, and Nduli is one player that is the Nduli that we know from Stellies, that really covers so much ground and allow the superstars to be able to shine to go forward. And that's the person that really protects that centre back. He really does so well. If we can break him, if we can maybe shift him from a defensive position that he is, maybe shift him to the side to be able to penetrate through, we might test those two centre backs.
Do you think they'll play 2 6s?
Of course they will. Of course they will. What? They will play Mbata and Nduli. They'll definitely play 2 6s.
And let Nduli sit.
And Nduli will sit. And then Mbata plays an 8, maybe with Sipo as a 10.
Yeah.
You can't come with 1-6, my brother.
Because Nduli doesn't do much. He wins the ball and gives it to you.
He's such an important player in that.
He wins it and gives it to you. You must see. We're not Labanotwaya.
Yeah. But it's a very important role.
Very important role.
Yeah.
If that guy can be moved there, then problems. We need to move him. We need to move him. It's going to be a problem.
If you move Nduli, trust me, if you move Nduli there, you will stand a chance of actually scoring many goals.
I'm also excited then to see Santos as well going into this game.
With those passes,
with those passes, because, hey...
Then after that we'll talk.
You'll make a decision.
Yeah, because you know what I've always said. Maybe Oupa can attest to this. You know, when you see a team that is doing well, maybe with 3-0 up, everybody wants to touch the ball. Everyone now becomes a star. But when a game is 0-0, Sundowns versus Orlando Pirates, no
one wants the ball.
So nobody wants the ball. So gauge. This is the games that we need to gauge you at. Yeah, we can do all the other passes. We can play well against Magezi. We can play well against Richards Bay. But against the big teams that we're actually competing against for the same position.
Sure. All right. The pressure is on. I think it's one of those games, separate Bafana from Madoda. All right. The comments are powered by Huawei. So we have a question where you can stand a chance to win yourself a cell phone. And the question is, in 2019, Mamelodi Sundowns won 11-1 against a Seychelles side, Côte d'Ivoire, in the CAF Champions League. Who scored the only hat-trick of that match?
Yeah, I know. I think I know. Yeah, he's no longer. He's somewhere. He's somewhere within the mix.
Okay.
𝐏𝐤𝐿.
Okay, that's your answer.
Yeah, 𝐏𝐤𝐿.
All right.
𝐏𝐤𝐿.
In the 11-1 win, Seychelles in 2019, Brazil 11-1.
𝐏𝐤𝐿.
There was only one hat trick in that match.
2019.
I think it's 𝐏𝐤𝐿. I said.
2019, nearly no someone coach Pitsu.
It's a difficult one. If you know the answer, go into the comments and leave your answer there. Stand a chance to win yourself this Huawei device.
Hat-trick.
I can say.
I think he will.
I don't have the answer.
I think he will.
But I remember hat-trick though.
I think he will more. As I go more.
𝐏𝐤𝐿 we got lemo. That's what I'm saying.
More. At Treshville.
Here to saying, man. Here to saying, man. Now I hope like 𝐏𝐻𝐻, and then maybe I mixed up the years, but I hope like 𝐏𝐻 and 𝐏𝐻 scored under Coach Rulana. I think when he was still new into the team. Yeah.
No, I hear you. Nah, I don't know. I don't have the answer. I just have the question, and that's it.
Okay.
But I know 2019, coach nearly coach beat.
Kaya 11-1 win.
2019.
Sure.
We were still playing.
No? Half away.
Oh,
no, no, judge. No, man, nigga grape. Nigga jadi grapes. Nigga jadi grapes.
Masandawana, we did ask you guys to leave us your comments, and this is what has come through. Frederick says, Arieng Masandawana, Arieng, Retena di group stage ka vosho. Let us dominate and win the games. Lucky says, it seems like the boys are gelling together, and he is loving it. Kefense, I love my team. Then, Itu Utlaga Mets, read him this. 1 + 1 equals
2.
All right. The boys play with a lot of exuberance.
Exuberance.
Yeah. I love the competition of the squad. If you have 4 national squad players in fullback position, what else do you want? Levels, Masandawana. Levels. Modise says, I am not a Sundowns fan, but every Friday morning I tune into the Pitchside Podcast. Shout out to you. Rich says, I'm 100% behind the whole team. Our job is to support the team, including the coaching department. #Kabuyelo. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been another exceptional episode of the Pitchside Podcast. Thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully, you clearly like it. Re tlo tebela so PhD re mo tebetsa. Re na nako ya malakias.
Ke re ko wena now we can take a favor to 25,000 a bedway.
Awuzweni.
That
Oh, spending on business. Spending on business, man.
I want a bedway account. Active or got 50.
Awuzweni.
When I felt like a blessing about the podium, I'm packing carrots out. Then I'll bless.
Kabuyelo, Masandawana, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. Thank you very much for watching the Pitchside Podcast.